think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The View is in full-blown panic mode, and this time it's not just a minor controversy they can brush off. It's an all-out crisis. Karoline Leavitt, the young, sharp, and unapologetic conservative powerhouse, just unleashed a legal firestorm so massive that ABC executives are in full-scale damage control. They're scrambling, sweating, and pulling every string they can to contain what could be the most disastrous blow to the network's credibility yet.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. That was so good.
These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should wake up.
And here's the craziest part. Karoline never even set foot on The View to make it happen. That's right, no dramatic on-air confrontation, no heated debate at the table. Instead, after yet another disgusting tone-deaf attack from Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin, she didn't just fire back, she dropped a bombshell that has the entire network on edge. ABC is reportedly in full panic mode, pleading behind the scenes, begging Karoline to back off before things spiral completely out of control. Executives are allegedly working overtime, desperate to stop this from turning into a full-scale catastrophe, but let's be honest, the damage is already done. The backlash is growing, and insiders are whispering that the network's credibility is hanging by a thread. At this point, the question isn't whether The View can recover, it's whether ABC itself can survive the fallout, because this is beyond saving. So what exactly did Karoline Leavitt say that sent Whoopi Goldberg into full meltdown mode? What had Joy Behar visibly shaking and left Sunny Hostin speechless? Yes, actually speechless for the first time in her life.
We will expose the fake news when they are fake. We will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they are going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world. And the press likes to hear that too. That's something that has not happened over the past 4 years.
Oh, you do not want to miss this. But before we dive headfirst into this chaotic, drama-packed takedown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more uncensored, no-nonsense updates. Because trust me, this is just getting started. The View thought they could come after Karoline Leavitt and just walk away unscathed. Big mistake. They thought they could smear her, mock her, and reduce her success to nothing but cheap insults. Just another day of their usual biased, out-of-touch theatrics. But this time, they messed with the wrong woman. On a recent episode, the ladies of The View went completely unhinged, not just with their usual passive-aggressive digs, but with a full-scale character assassination aimed directly at Karoline. Why? Because she's a young, successful conservative woman who refuses to back down, and they made sure to hit below the belt. Joy Behar, with her signature condescending smirk, kicked things off with an attack so blatantly sexist and degrading that even some of their own audience members were shifting uncomfortably. She didn't criticize Karoline's policies. She didn't challenge her ideas. No, she completely erased her intelligence, experience, and hard-earned political success. In Joy's twisted logic, there was only one possible reason why Karoline had made it so far.
They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
According to Joy, Karoline wasn't hired because of her brains, talent, or work ethic. Oh no. According to Joy, Karoline got where she is because she's a 10 in Trump's eyes. That's right. Joy Behar, the so-called feminist, reduced an accomplished woman to nothing but her looks. Years of hard work, dismissed. Every professional milestone, ignored. In Joy's mind, a conservative woman's success must be handed to her by a man, not earned through actual skill. The hypocrisy? Absolutely mind-blowing. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Whoopi Goldberg jumped in and took it to a whole new level of unhinged. never one to let facts or logic get in the way of a good angry rant. Whoopi went off the rails. She launched into a full-on tirade, attacking Karoline's character, her credibility, and her entire career. And the rage. It was personal. The audience watched as Whoopi's tone grew more aggressive, her words sharper, her frustration boiling over. It was clear Karoline had struck a nerve, and while Whoopi fumed, Joy backtracked, realizing just how bad her own comments sounded. But the damage? Already done. Sunny hostin', silent, and for once in her life, she had nothing to say. With her usual self-righteous tone, Whoopi Goldberg launched into a lecture so dripping with hypocrisy that even her own audience could barely keep up. She didn't hold back. She went straight for the most condescending, backhanded attack possible. Her exact words: "Yeah, I would like this young lady. This is her first job. I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said there will be no wokeness here." Oh yeah? Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The hypocrisy was jaw-dropping. This was coming from the very same women who claim to uplift young professionals, the ones who constantly preach about supporting women in the workplace. Yet here they were, publicly belittling and dismissing an accomplished young woman's career, all because they didn't like her politics. And trust me, Karoline wasn't about to let that slide. Whoopi, clearly fired up, kept going. She wasn't just talking, she was lecturing. And if you've ever seen her in full rant mode, you know exactly how it goes. Hands waving, voice rising, dragging out sentences like she's delivering some grand history lesson.
Well, you know, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Now, to hear you talk about it, to hear anybody talk about the wokeness, that wokeness was put in place for a reason, because black people couldn't get into colleges, because women couldn't get into the schools they wanted. She was on a roll now, fully convinced she was educating Karoline on history she clearly already knew. This is all women. See, this is not just black, Asian. This is all women. Women weren't invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure this was a person's world. The irony? Absolutely staggering. Commentators called it out instantly. Whoopi was literally mansplaining the job of a press secretary to Karoline Leavitt, a woman lecturing another woman about how she wouldn't have a job without a movement that she had nothing to do with getting her there. The hypocrisy was dripping from every word. Hilarious. Oh, you already know, Whoopi just had to make it about race, as if that somehow justified her dismissing Karoline's entire career, reducing her success to nothing but a byproduct of wokeness. But Karoline, she wasn't having it. She didn't just brush it off or ignore the noise. She went for the kill. This wasn't just a clapback, it was a complete annihilation. And when she fired back, she did not hold back. Her response, brutal. Please, his opponents are still saying the same rhetoric that led to those two attempts. The second attempt on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic, if you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will act on it, just like we've seen twice against President Trump. The delivery was sharp, the facts undeniable, and the confidence.
And you would think, you know, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
Unshakable. She wasn't just pushing back against the false narrative, she was tearing it apart at its foundation. And then she took it even further. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a cut to commercial. The network yanked the plug. They didn't even let her finish. They knew she was about to expose something they did not want their audience to hear. But at that point, it didn't even matter. The damage was already done. And The View? They had no idea what was about to hit them next, because Karoline wasn't just calling out the hosts. She was exposing an entire machine. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive, divisive rhetoric spewed by the Democrat Party every single day, and I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump, claiming he is the one dividing this country. He is not. The media is. Boom. There it was. A statement so powerful, so raw, and so undeniably true that it sent shockwaves through the very network that tried to silence her for pushing hoaxes, just like the one you all peddled today.
And so I hope that the media will focus on the issues that matter to the American people, the issues that led them to vote in a resounding way for President Trump on November the 5th. That's what President Trump is focused on more so than ever. We have an array of executive action that will be rolled out on day one to change the lives of the American people immediately.
For twisting narratives, for spreading misinformation, all to fit your own biased agenda. And the Democratic Party, they're just as guilty. Guilty of constantly lying about Trump, guilty of fear-mongering, guilty of painting millions of Americans as dangerous threats just because they refuse to fall in line. But here's the good news. Americans aren't buying it. They see through the nonsense. They see through the propaganda. And that's why right now President Trump is more popular than he's been since 2016. Because the truth is, people don't trust the media anymore. They're sick of the double standards. They're sick of the manipulation. The audience, dead silent. The View's hosts, completely unprepared. They weren't expecting this kind of direct, unapologetic pushback. Not from a young, conservative woman who refuses to be silenced. What happened next? The viral takedown. Karoline didn't just respond, she obliterated them. And then came the now infamous Scorched Earth video, where she exposed The View for exactly what they are. A panel of bitter, out-of-touch elitists who love to claim they support women, but only if those women agree with them. And this time, Karoline did not hold back. Joy Behar is the perfect example of modern feminism, she said, preaching about empowering women while tearing down any woman who doesn't fit their narrative. Disgusting. And then she took direct aim at Whoopi. Whoopi says, "I wouldn't have a job without wokeness?" That's hilarious, considering The View's entire panel is made up of unqualified DEI hires. And Sunny Hostin, Karoline torched her. And Sunny Hostin of all people wants to talk about privilege? Give me a break. Then, with the audience still reeling, she dropped the hammer. The View doesn't want strong women, they want obedient women. They want women who fall in line,